Jonathan was David's friend. Jonathan made a vow with David. Jonathan was a true friend. He was willing to give up everything to protect the man of God. When we are willing to give up everything for God, his promises are manifested in our life. If you don't believe me, turn to Matthew, the 16th chapter, the 23rd through the 24th verse. It says, and he turned again unto Peter and said, Get thee behind me, Satan, for thou art an offense unto me. For thou savorest not the things of God that be of God, but those that be of men. Then said Jesus unto his disciples, If any man will come after me, let him deny himself, and take up his cross and follow me. For whosoever will save his life shall lose it, and whosoever shall lose his life for my sake shall find it. So when we make up in our minds that we will give up everything for God, God's promises are manifested in our life. We shall begin to see his glory when we begin to say that we will lose and give up everything for him. Some of us in here don't like to be called loser.
All right.
You know, loser.
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 But let me tell you something.
A capital L.
I'm a loser.
Right.
I'm a loser. Get the revelation.
All right, come on.
I'm a loser. Some of us need to be losers.
Right.
We need to lose our life in God. We need to get so wrapped up, tangled up, and tied up in God that we can see the manifestation of his glory and his presence in our lives. Some of us are wondering, why can we not see God moving in our midst? It's because you're not a loser. You have not decided to give up everything to live for God. You're still holding on to some stuff. The Bible tells us that lay aside every weight and the sin that doth so easily beset you. So that I'm here to let you know that everything that you're doing is not a sin. But there's some things that you're holding that are weights. And what happens is that it begins to drag you down on your knees and you wonder why I can't get up and I cannot see the presence of the Lord in my life. Why am I not prospering? Why am I not growing? For the Bible tells us that ye shall prosper even as your soul prospers. But Lord, why am I not prospering? The Lord is saying, because you won't put down that thing that is causing you to be weighted down. You won't put down that man that I did not put in your life. You won't put down that foul voice, that foul tongue. You won't put it down. You won't put down depression. You just hold on to it. But God is saying, let it go on today. Let it go. Jesus.
Come on, come on.
Jonathan.
Let it go.
Second reason that David made a vow. Jonathan was a man of commitment. He was committed to David. Now look at this. He was committed to David. David was pretty much, you can call him one of Saul's servants. But Jonathan, I believe, got some revelation. He knew where David was going. So he was committed to David even before he got there. How many of you are committed to this ministry? I don't want you to raise your hand, because the Bible tells us that we shall know them by the fruits that they bear. And some of the fruits that you're bearing are not fruits of commitment. Pastor pastor has to beg us to come to church on time. He has to beg us to do what we need to do for the house of the Lord, to clean the church, and to do whatever it is we find our hands to do. That doesn't show commitment. But here it is. Now, when 5 generation becomes this mega church, everybody's going to get committed because you're going to want to be seen. But my Bible tells me that when you exalt yourself, you shall be abased. You shall be abased when you exalt yourself. We're not doing this for fame or fashion. We're not doing this for show. We're doing this because we love the Almighty God. That's why you see me when I come in. I come in early. I make sure everything is right. I'm not doing it for Pastor Theo. I'm doing it because that's what God has called me to do. And when I first started my ministry, the first thing that I did was I cleaned the church every Saturday. I went and cleaned the church. As I was cleaning the church, it was just me and God. I would sit down and just pray. I would read. Sometimes I would get on my knees at the altar and pray before I even clean the church. And then God began to speak to me. And at one point in time, I thought it was crazy because I'm like, okay, I'm hearing voices. I'm hearing voices. I'm going crazy. But you know what? God gave me my first message as I was cleaning the church. He said, I can't bless you because you won't let me. I began to say, Lord, how won't I let you bless me? Because as I tell you to obey my commandments, you're still going around. You're trying to find a loophole in what I tell you to do. But I can't bless you because you won't let me. It's just like if I have $1 million in my hand and you have a handful of stuff and I tell you I'm going to give you the $1 million, but if you don't let the stuff go, I can't bless you because you won't let me. Commitment. Jonathan was committed unto David. Now Saul was his father. He was the king. Jonathan didn't worry about disgrace. He didn't worry about being killed. How many of you know that Jonathan could have been killed for doing what he did and telling David what his father was going to do? Jonathan could have been killed. We don't like to be disgraced. That's one of our problems with commitment. What will my friends think if they see me in church? I can't talk to them about Jesus because then they may not think I'm cool anymore. They may not think I'm hip anymore.
Loser.
They may not think I'm down anymore. But I got a news flash. Being down won't get you to your destination. Being hip won't get you to your destination. Being a thug won't get you to your destination. Oh, being popular will not get you to your destination. Only God can get you to your destination. I made up in my mind a long time ago that it doesn't matter who goes with me. If my family turns their back on me, I will still serve the Lord. If my wife says today that I want a divorce, if you continue to serve the Lord, let her go, because she cannot give me life. For the Bible tells me, he who the Son has set free is free indeed. Now God, one day, he freed me from the chains of bondage. He freed me from selling drugs. He freed me from a lifestyle of thinking I was a thug. He freed me. Now why wouldn't I serve the Lord?
All right.